Heck
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
So what's up,
What's
man?
up, my man? What's going on?
Nothing much. How you been?
You know, another day, another dollar.
You didn't work today, huh?
Now, Friday, Saturdays, I'm off.
Ah, got it.
Yeah, them veteran.
I was gonna say, once you've been there for a certain amount of time, you get those days.
Yeah, right. Get them seniority.
That guy in the morning, Tony, with the shorts, the old guy, he drives a
Oh yeah.
forklift. Fuck that
Yeah, he just
guy.
retired, right?
He retired already?
He retired the other day. I think
No,
yesterday was his last day.
I
Yeah,
missed him.
yeah, man.
That's
His last day,
crazy. But he was
right?
fucking Friday, Saturdays forever.
Yeah, yeah. I only got that shit because the lady who was back there, she couldn't do it no more. And when she left, I was just the next in line. It was like, "Do you want those days off?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take them."
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'm usually like, as long as I get 2 days off in a row, like I'm kind of like, it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, I try to write shit down, but it's all, my notes are all scattered.
That's all good.
So I'm sorry, but I had all these notes, and then I got with Johnny, and Johnny was like, "You're gonna interview him?" He's like, "Ask him this, ask him that."
Yeah, Johnny, that's my man. Hey, Johnny is like, Johnny's like, it's like one of my favorite human beings. Period.
Hmm.
That's a good dude.
Yeah, he's
Like,
a really great guy. I like him a lot.
yeah,
He has he has charisma.
yeah, and he always has like these sayings that like help me just in life. Period. Like he always has these little just you know formulas of metaphors he has or he lives by or he quotes or whatever.
Yeah,
You know. Yeah.
yeah. You heard his podcast?
Yeah, I was listening to it today. I
Okay,
listened
okay.
to it again because like I listened to it in parts because I was going through a couple of them. You know, the one you have with Eric, and then of course Tobashi, and then there was one I was going to watch too. It was one with Christina who you said was an ex coworker, but you went to school with her or something like that.
Went to school, and yeah, we worked together. She's been my supervisor when I worked at Sam's Club.
Oh, Stanford. Okay, okay,
Right. Yeah,
nice,
she's a
nice. Yeah,
teacher now, and that was one of my first interviews, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So that's a lot of
yeah,
flip ups and like edited. Like
yeah.
usually, you'll hear it being edited. Like I edit the fuck out of the ones that I fucked up on. Like the very first 10, especially
Yeah.
fuck ups. Like, and I left them in too on purpose so that people could see that now maybe I'm growing. Like there's a couple now that I've done where I haven't edited nothing, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
and that's kind of cool because it's better that way. I think for it to be
yeah.
just unedited and just more you know out there.
Authentic and like raw. You know. Yeah.
Right,
I was
right, right.
I was cracking up with you and Johnny.
Yeah,
I
he's
was,
great. He's great.
yeah. You guys
Uh,
go from everything to NFTs to porn names. Like you guys were like covered a wide range of stuff, which is good though, because it just you know
right,
that's kind of
right.
like how it is at work. You know, at work we kind of jump on all kind of topics at work. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. There's a
Yeah,
lot of work conversations I've had with you, especially at work, that
yeah.
I feel like that could have been perfect dialogue for the podcast. Do you want to be used as your do you just want your first name, or do you mind using your last name, or do you want to be called something else like
Oh, you
credit?
just put Mr. Hill.
Mr.
Yeah, I
Hill.
like Mr. Hill.
That's great. I
Yeah,
like that too. Mr. Hill's
yeah,
perfect. All right.
yeah,
So, ladies and gentlemen, this
yeah,
is Mr. Hill. Um, uh, Check them out because this is for the listeners, the people who listen. And a lot of people listen and don't watch the videos. They just listen. They don't. So it's kind of sometimes you got to explain if you're showing something or you know what I mean? Like you got
yeah.
your active grind shirt on right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The AG logo, you know, the A and the G. Me and my boy Bashi, who you already had a interview with. Yeah, my dog. Yeah, definitely.
What's that brand
Yep,
about? What's that brand about?
that's our. Well, like we started with, it was actually like the rap group name when we were trying to do our music thing way back when. That's how I first met him. Like you know, we just kind of clicked on that. And then he came to me. He was like, "Dude, you know, because he liked the way the acronym, you know, spelled out the AKDIV is, you know, ambition, knowledge, discipline, integrity, and versatile, which is kind of like, you know, just kind of live by that standard
Nice.
as far as like that." And he was like, "Dude, that name is so dope. You know, we should do something with the name." And I just kind of let it go. So he was like, "We should start branding it a little bit," and that's kind of like what we started doing. And it's more or less, it's not really about like clothing and stuff. It's just kind of getting that injecting into people's kind of like mental, kind of just kind of how you live pretty much, you
That's
know?
tight. That's dope.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, yeah. And then we're still trying to do everything else. So like, he's like he's that guy's like I call him somebody that's always inspired. He's inspired and he inspires. So we'll probably do a little bit more music. I was like before I get too old, I don't want to be a corny old man trying to still do music. I'll go one more round or so. That dream was just in my head. But meeting him, he helped me like actually just really get it out, like type of thing. I appreciate him for that.
So yeah, going back to it. Sorry, I'm going off. You were born and raised in San Diego.
Yep. Yep. Born and raised here. Yeah, pretty much never have even left before. Really, furthest I've been is like Arizona, maybe once or twice. Las Vegas because my daughter lived up there. But yeah, I've been here the whole time.
You're talking about you've lived in Arizona or just visited?
Just visited.
Oh, okay,
Just visited Arizona. Yeah, best friend lives out there, and then I went out there again to see him like twice. Then that's been about it. Yeah, I've been to Vegas a couple times, but as far as like leaving, nowhere. Just born and raised here, like the City Heights area.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's interesting. So you're born and raised here. I forget. See, I'm telling you, man. I have my notes, but I haven't looked them up. Who's the guy? I can give it to you, but what you gonna do with it?
Oh, Joe Felony.
J.O. Felony. That's right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can give it to you, but what you
That's my
gonna
dad's
do?
homeboy. Yeah, that's my dad's homeboy.
You were telling
Yeah,
me that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. My uncle that passed away, he used to tell me about him before he really came out because they were taking him to the studio all the time. He was telling me about him, and then he definitely blew up with that song right there.
J.O.
Yeah,
Felony. I haven't heard that name
yeah,
in a long time.
yeah. Had to
Right since we were
remix
talking
that.
about it.
Oh heck yeah! And he had the remix with DMX and Method Man on it.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
the
made
one
history. He made history. He's like one of the first West Coast artists signed to like the East Coast label.
really.
Yeah, yeah.
And you said
Him and Warren G, I think.
he changed his name to something else.
Uh,
No?
well, I think he changed his name to his real name was James Savage, which is a pretty dope name too.
That's his name,
That's his
James
actual.
Savage?
That's his actual name. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. You remember
but
telling me that.
but now I think he's back on his jail felony name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's back to that.
Yeah, I remember I had the Source, a Source album. The Source, like it was a compilation,
Yeah.
like a Source, like CD, and that was on there. That a bunch of DMX songs, and that one, that 321 was on there. Remember that one with
Oh yeah,
that with
yeah.
LL Cool J and Cannabis.
Redman, LL Cool J. Yeah,
LL Cool J and Cannabis
yeah.
had that little beef going.
And it was on the same song. Remember, LL Cool J heard his verse,
Right.
and then was like, "Oh, he's dissing me," so he redid his verse and dissed
Wasn't that?
him.
You ever seen that mixtape or that DVD that was really big back then? Beef. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah,
Beef.
yeah,
Wasn't
yep.
that on Beef?
That was on Beef, and then like the Ja Rule and 50 Cent was on there, I think.
Because I remember that's how I knew about it so well.
Yeah,
About the fucking LL Cool J. Because I remember at the time that song was really cool, but I didn't think
yeah.
anything of it. But then when you start talking about like you can't take he's like you can't take the mic on my arm.
Mic off my arm.
It'll blow up like
Yeah,
a time
yeah,
bomb. And then
yeah.
yeah, that whole fucking thing was just like a fucking setup. Like he fucked up. He fucked over Cannabis bad.
Oh, he did. Yeah, but Cannabis said that it wasn't even really meant for him. It just was coincidental that. But LL Cool J was, he's LL Cool J, so he thought you was idolizing me, and then you said something in rap about it. So rap is super competitive. I feel like everybody wants to be number one, no matter how they play it down like they don't.
Right.
It's just that type of genre of music.
Right, but sometimes it's just like it's unmatched. It's uneven. Like especially like we're talking about like with you we go into so many things when we're talking about how like the um what are those new things that we're doing? It was Dipset versus
The verses.
versus. It's kind of like a new
Yeah,
age like beat like a fun way of to beef with each other, but sometimes it just like
yeah,
it's mismatched.
yeah. But it was like it wasn't even started out that way. It's supposed to be kind of like them showing their catalog to remind people of just the great music. But then, of course, it's competition. That's well, at least with the rappers, it is. You know what I'm saying? Like the R&B singers and stuff, they're kind of chill, but the rappers is just like, you know, my song's better than yours. I rap better than you, and
Right.
yeah, I feel like Jadakiss he set the bar, and now he made it like where it's a battle. just because of how hard he was going.
And that's what I mean. Yeah, now it's like a
Yeah,
fucking. It's
yeah,
not just fun anymore. It's like let's
exactly.
see who could, because they're like trying to put like Jay-Z against people, and that's just you're trying to start something, and then they talk about
Yeah,
like Eminem. Who could you put Eminem with? Just you're just trying to start. You're just
exactly,
trying to start something.
exactly. If it was just a showman of this, let's just show these
Right.
guys his music and their catalog. That's one thing. But now they're like you said, who can go up against Eminem or who can go up against Jay-Z? Like, that's
Like
why
you
those
could
guys
put,
aren't going to do it.
and it depends on what you're going at. I was talking to my cousin. That's another episode we did. I don't know if it's come out yet. Maybe it has come out. But one with my cousin Luis. We talk about hip hop and we talk about like you could like Jay Z. He's the greatest. I guess he sold the most, records, whatever, right? Drake
Yeah,
sold the most records, but Jay Z and Drake aren't the same class of rapper. They're not the same type of rapper.
yeah, exactly,
So you could be like,
exactly.
okay, is this guy a better rapper or is this guy a better record seller? Like two different
Yeah,
categories.
and then you would go with be like, well, I guess if you look at it, I guess Eminem he's out top Drake. So now,
Right.
and now he has better sales, and is he a better rapper? I mean, a lot of people say he is. I mean,
Yeah.
just lyrically wise. So he's like both. So who will go up against Eminem? But a lot of people think they can because they feel like his music is only catered to like a certain, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not street enough. But it's like it's mainstream. But he's got like the most Spotify downloads or streams or something. He beat Drake or
I
whatever.
heard something like that. But then see, it's like
Yeah,
who I can't keep up with all the news because there was a thing back a couple years ago where I guess the Beatles were like the highest record sellers, and
yeah.
Drake had overpassed
Drake
the
beat them.
Beatles,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
exactly.
he has that tattoo. You seen that? Heard about that tattoo on his
Yeah,
arm?
I heard about that. I was like, what the? I didn't even know he had tattoos. So I saw it was like arms. I was like, this
And I
guy's
forget,
tatted up.
yeah, and I forget what the tattoo is, but it's supposed it's
Yeah,
like disrespectful to the Beatles, like
yeah.
everyone says. Like, but my thing is, okay, so that means that Eminem's outsold the Beatles and Drake.
And
Is that what's
yeah,
happening? Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay, okay, okay.
yeah,
Wow. And then where's Jay
yeah.
Z at? Because isn't Jay Z like, wasn't he like up there somewhere? So I
I
wanted to
mean,
see the
he's up.
ranks.
I think Jay-Z's more up there with like just albums, as far as like, I mean, sell wise. But I think those two guys are still like, they're still moving like units. Like those guys are still selling albums.
Right, right. People don't realize that, but people are still buying and streaming their music today,
Yeah, and buying their
guaranteed.
albums. I bet
Even
you like Eminem, Drake, and Taylor Swift. They sell albums.
well, even
she sells albums.
even like with like the Super Bowl, I'm sure all those people are selling albums just because. Like I remember
Oh
when
yeah,
Katy Perry, I think it was 2015, Katy Perry did the the Super Bowl halftime show,
yeah.
and she brought out Missy Elliott, and she did like
Mm,
Work It, all those songs that she used to do
yeah,
back in the day. And the next day, I heard somewhere that they were talking about like that her music, Missy Elliott's music, was trending for the first time in like years. People
yeah,
were like
yeah,
people who little kids who who were 5 at the time. Missy Elliott was hot. Are
yeah.
watching the
Right.
Super Bowl and like at that time, I'm like, who's this? And then they're going on Spotify, Apple Music, and just
Looking
like
up her, yeah.
just yeah, or maybe they're buying the single or whatever.
Or they just
And that
go and they stream the whole catalog.
and so that's something that people like don't really realize too is that like sometimes you just need that bump, like you just need
Oh yeah,
that one little
yeah,
bump
definitely.
and you're back up again.
Heck yeah. Look at Jadakiss after that verses. They said his streaming
Right,
went up like 200%.
right, same thing,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
exactly,
Yeah,
which is crazy because a lot of people were watching that versus who have never even heard of Jadakiss before, like who the fuck
yeah,
is this guy?
yeah. Exactly. And it's like this dude's a monster. Like
Right, and they're like super
especially because he put
impressed.
on the show. Heck yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Oh yeah, and yeah, and then
yeah,
even like I was listening to old Puff Daddy and the Family shit recently,
yeah.
and thinking like, oh shit, I forgot on the verses he was talking about. He wrote Diddy's. He wrote
Benjamin's verse.
yeah all about the Benjamins, right? Which is a fucking. Now that I listened to it, you can completely
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
that it's
yeah.
fucking Jadakiss.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can hear
Right,
like their style comes through.
right. Because even like on Still Dre, like you can hear it Jay Z. You can completely hear
Dude,
Jay Z all through
dude,
it.
when I first heard that song, I knew that was gonna be my favorite song because I was like, I already knew because I listened to Jay Z so much. I was like, he wrote this song
Mm-hmm.
just because of his cadence, and then he drops jewels in there. Y'all could be king, but the ace is back. Now he has ace of spade. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of dots he connected. He's super smart.
Right,
Like
right, right,
that,
right. And then
that's hands down my favorite rap song of all time. It's Still
Still Dre?
Dre, just because because it's West Coast beat, it's Dr. Dre, but then my favorite rapper wrote the lyrics. He wrote the whole song. He even wrote Snoop's part.
Yeah,
So like,
I heard that too.
yeah,
There's a there's a
yeah.
there's a 50 Cent song you could tell that Eminem wrote. It's called I'm supposed to die tonight. You hear that song? I'm supposed
Oh,
to
I love
die
that
tonight.
song. I love
You
that song.
if you listen to that song, you could hear Eminem all through it. He wrote that for him. You could tell.
You think Eminem wrote the lyrics too?
He did. He did. I mean, it's been he's credited for it, and you could hear it. You could hear it.
Oh,
You can hear
shit,
it
yeah.
100% that Eminem wrote that shit.
Now that you say that, it does sound like an Eminem song.
Right. It's just
But that's one of my
crazy.
favorite 50 songs. I love that song.
Right. It's a really
That
good
song's
song.
dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
that song's dope. Yeah, that song's
Yeah.
dope.
I know when that
Yeah,
album came out, fuck, the album was like, fuck. The Massacre.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people was like, I feel like it kind of went under the radar, but I feel like it wasn't as good as Get Rich or Die Trying, but it was
Right.
pretty freaking good for a second album.
Right. But then
Yeah,
it kind of, for me, it got to a point where it was like, he was calling people out, and
too
I was
much
like,
beefing. Yeah,
right. Like he was
yeah,
calling out Fat Joe on that one, and I think
yeah,
Jadakiss on that one. Right?
yeah, Jadakiss.
Yeah, that's right.
Because
And Nas.
they did that
Um,
New
New
York
York.
song with Ja Rule. Yeah, I
Right.
got 100 guns, 100 clips. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I think he lost when he went up against Jadakiss and the Locks and them.
Well, it's just in general. It's just it started to seem like he was starting known as a beef guy, and it's got tired. It
Yeah,
got tired because
exactly.
it was
Yeah,
really at first it was interesting when he kind of exposed uh um Ja Rule, because it seemed
yeah,
like I knew Ja Rule. He's a Jehovah's Witness. Like, pulling all this shit about him.
yeah,
Like it made it like, oh, okay, like it made it funny. But once he
yeah,
kept going with other people, it just got kind of like with Game. Game is known for
yeah.
Game is known as the guy who always fucking has to talk about who he knows. What do you call that? Remember what I'm talking
Right.
about?
Yeah,
He does
yeah,
that. He name drops all
yeah,
like it,
all the
and it
time.
gets
Yeah,
old. It gets fucking
yeah,
old, bro.
it does.
Like it's just like I get it, dude. I fucking get it. This is your style, but it gets old. Game's
Yeah,
great. Don't get me wrong.
I think that killed their career. Yeah,
Right. I
that's
mean,
why
don't
their
get me
career,
wrong.
as in like 50's career, is like, yeah, his beefing was like, it was cool. Like I said, it was cool, but then it's like we want to hear something else, bro. Like let's get back to the music.
And do
Like
you
you know what I'm saying?
so do you think that Rick Ross did it? He killed the 50 music vibe? Because I feel like he did.
I think so, and I think that's when 50 realized like you're not as tough as you thought you were. Because this
Right.
guy, you might say he doesn't sell records as much, but every time he makes music, people go out and get it. He's still making music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like he was one of the people that wasn't afraid of 50. I think
Right.
he kind of initiated the beef.
Right.
It was something crazy. Like he looked at me wrong. We were passing in the hallway. I think he wanted that beef. I think Rick Ross wanted that beef. Show him he's not as tough as he thought he was, you know. And musically, I like Rick Ross more than I like 50 as far as music now.
I didn't think that back then, but yeah, me too. Like that back then, I
Yeah,
was like, oh, who's this Rick
yeah,
Ross guy? Like, who is it?
yeah,
Who is he? And then
yeah.
it turned into like, where's 50?
Right. hey,
Where'd
hey,
50 go?
Fat Joe's got one of the best diss songs of 50 ever because
Really?
he uses a cartoon theme, but I can't remember what cartoon it's from.
For the beat?
The for the hook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, I don't
but
remember that.
I don't know what cartoon it's from. You know, it's 50, 50. He's the fakest thing you ever seen. Curtis Jackson. It's a cartoon theme
Right.
music, but I
I
can't
never heard
remember
that
which one
song.
it is.
I never
It
heard that
might be the
song.
Jetsons or something. I think it might be the Jetsons theme song, and he
Yeah,
changed the lyrics.
yeah, that's the Jetsons. Yeah, yeah. From the no, it's Flintstones. From the town of
Flintstones. There you
Bedrock.
go.
Do
Yeah,
do do
yeah,
do 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 do. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He used that. That's one of my favorite diss tracks of 50.
You gotta send me. You gotta send
Pretty
me
dope.
that because I never heard that
I'll
before
send
in
you
my
that
life.
one.
What year
Yeah,
was that?
it's called my fofo. It's like in the mid 2000s.
Around that time, Massacre.
Yeah, yeah. A little bit after. I think that was Fat Joe's response. Yeah, yeah, it's dope. Yeah,
I
but
might
yeah,
have heard it then. I might have heard it, but I don't remember
yeah,
it being a
yeah,
Flintstones beef. Flintstones
yeah.
theme song beef.
Flintstones theme song.
No, but yeah, I used to be all into that shit. I remember I used to be into
Yeah,
that. Did you ever used to hear that? Game used to do the mixtapes. The You Know What It Is Volume 3. You Know What It Is
yeah,
Volume 4.
yeah,
And then he did
yeah.
the GU Not mixtape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that shit. I used to be all into
I
that
feel like
shit.
he even got into like that lane too, where he just started beefing with them.
Right,
That was it. That was it. You know, it just takes away from the music. Like, you know,
right. Man,
it is what it is.
that was a time.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to
That's
transition into the Will Smith shit, but we'll figure it out.
Will Smith was a rapper.
Will Smith was a rapper, and did you
Yeah,
know that Will Smith? Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he one of the first rappers to win a Grammy?
he's the first rapper
He's
to
the
win a
first rapper
Grammy.
to win a Grammy.
Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy, bro.
right. Him and Jazzy Jeff. It was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. One of the first cassettes I ever
Do you know for what?
had.
For is it a song or an
Uh,
album?
the first album,
For like best rap album or something?
best rap album. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah. But I remember listening to that album because he had a song there called "Nightmare on My Street," and he used like the Freddy Krueger theme in the background. Thought
Oh,
it was a scary song to listen to. It was pretty dope though. Yeah,
no, no. I used to hear all that like uh the parents just don't understand. I used
I
to
think
hear
it's
all
from that
that.
album.
I used to hear that shit, all that shit. I used to think, I don't
Yeah,
like it. And then when I
yeah,
was like 10, 11, maybe 13, that's when Big Willie Style came out. And
yeah. He kind of
I
changed his style a
bumped
little
that
bit.
shit. I had that shit
Yeah,
back in that was my shit. And then I
yeah,
went back and like maybe like 10 years ago, I went back and heard that old like that parents just don't understand, and I really really
yeah,
liked it. I got really into it.
yeah.
Like, but as a kid, I
Yeah.
wasn't appreciating it as much.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I was telling my I was talking to somebody and I was like, dude, if you look at like when we were teenagers or kids, we didn't have any really like kid rappers. You know what I'm saying? We grew up with like Snoop Dogg. That I was 12 and I was listening to like Snoop and them. But like we didn't like that. Will Smith was kind of what you consider hip hop, but like fun rap. There's no cursing. It's very like
right,
you can play it for everybody. But at one point, at some point, it wasn't cool when we got to that stage of trying to be like gangster or cool like that, like type of thing.
Snoop
But
Dogg came out.
when you, yeah, you listen to it, you appreciate it though, because it's like it's good, clean rap, and a lot of that rap in the beginning it was like that. Him and like Kid and Play and those guys, they were it was like fun rap, type of
Hmm.
thing. So you can appreciate
Hmm.
it now. But he went that route. He got into the summertime was like a chill kind of gangsterish song, even though it was summertime.
Right, right,
But
right, right.
it had that vibe though. It had that chill vibe.
And you were
You
telling
know.
me, I didn't realize it until you told me about the Eric B and Rakim line.
Yeah, because I was watching an interview and they was talking to Rakim and he was like, "Man, they had to tell me that way he took that line. He wasn't trying to bite my style. He was kind of showing homage and appreciation because I guess like I said, rap is competitive, so he thought he was trying to you know take a line from him, but he wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't at all catch that until you said it,
Yeah,
and I went back and
yeah,
heard it and heard that. But yeah, I was really into that Big Willie Style, and then I was all into his movies, Will
yeah,
Smith,
yeah.
and then now he's slapping people at fucking award shows. What the fuck?
And it's just I don't know, man. It's
You didn't see it? You didn't see it
I
live?
no, no, no. Now I mean now you can't help it, but now I got a real good live one. It must have been from the the countries that were viewing it, where like the audio's there, and I can even hear the smack.
Hmm.
Like I hear the smack, and Chris is like, what? It's like wow. But
Oh my
it
god!
was, dude. It was so like it was so just it was so fluid and how he did it. It looked like it was fake. I thought they
Right?
were playing. I thought it was like they were joking around, and here they go, kind of goofing off at the Oscars. Chris Rock and Will Smith. I'm thinking this is a total skit
Right?
until I hear him sit back in his seat and he's yelling,
Yeah,
and I was like, bro, what is
yeah,
going
man.
on?
It's just such a fucking it's a fucking clusterfuck, man. Because
Yeah,
have you heard the I can't hear on TV. I'm trying to play this for you, but so when it first happened that night, it was censored. America censored it, and then turns out Japan had
right.
the real one, and Japan's went
Yeah,
viral, and that's how we all ended up seeing it. And then America ended up going, well, let's just put it out, right?
yeah,
So
got to.
and then that day after, I saw this thing on Extra where they're talking about how I guess Chris Rock went home, or he went backstage, changed, and he left because he had a flight. And that was his plan originally. He wasn't going to stay. He just went out there to do his thing, present the award, and he was going to just go home right after, change in the dressing room, go home. He had a flight.
Yeah,
That was the whole plan,
I
right?
think his tour started the next day.
Right. So
His tour, yeah,
he was just like That was his plan the whole time, and he did that. And then that's what they said the next day. He,
Yeah.
did that whole routine, left. And so today, I forgot who. Oh man, I wish I had my sources. They fucking this news station interviewed the fucking one of the producers at the Oscars, and he
Yeah.
talked about how Chris Rock went out. He was supposed to do his thing. He did do his thing, but Chris Rock had jokes on the prompter that he had told him he was going to do. They were approved by the Oscar people, and
Yeah.
Chris Rock didn't do any of those jokes. He did his.
Oh, he
It
went
was all freestyle.
freestyle.
But they said that he's been there so many times. He's hosted and everything. If there's anyone you could trust to go freestyle and not have to worry, it's him. And so they weren't worried at all. They were just laughing. They're all having a good time. And he throws that joke. Will Smith goes up there, smacks him, and they're all like, the people at the Oscars like, did that really happen? Is that real, or are they doing something?
Yeah.
And then once he goes backstage, that producer runs up to him and goes, "Hey, what happened?" And Chris Rock tells him, "I just got smacked by Muhammad Ali." And and he's like, "For real?" And I don't know specifically if it was him or someone there, but someone made the call to bring over LAPD, and they came over and they were talking to him in the dressing room, and he ended up the police was telling him all his rights as a citizen.
Right.
Like, you have a right to press charges, you have a right to do this, do that. And Chris Rock was like, no, 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 no. He kept saying no, no, no. But the producer was like, Chris, let them finish and then make a decision.
Right.
Which all this sounds baloney as fuck to me. I feel like they're just saying this just to fuck it. They probably just let him leave. In my opinion, they probably just said, "Oh, hey
so
man,
too.
have a good." Yeah, right. But they're trying to do all this to make it look like, "Hey,
like
Oscars cared."
Yeah.
The Oscars cared, man.
Yeah.
Because the first, the police went to him in the morning. That's what they said. They went to Chris Rock in the morning. The next morning, they didn't say that they went to him right there in the fucking right. And then I guess police were waiting to escort Will Smith out, but other people at the Oscars were saying no, just let him stay. So it's like this whole fucking like back and forth, like who's telling the truth?
Exactly, because they released a statement and said that they asked him to leave and he refused.
Right.
But if you look at the footage from him smacking him, going to sit back down the seat, nobody came up and asked him to leave. He sat down there and he started laughing.
And that night, everybody was on Will's side. When you saw Bradley Cooper walk over to him, you saw Trevor Noah, Denzel. Yeah. And then when he won, and he won for the Williams,
Best actor, right?
It's called. Yeah, for
King Richard.
King Richard. He won. Yeah. He got a standing ovation.
Right. And then Samuel Jackson gave him one of them street homie hugs, like the way he embraced him, maybe because he won the Oscar. And then Sam Jackson won an Oscar that night too, which is overshadowed.
What did he win for?
I don't know what for. I don't know, but he won one that night. His first one too.
Is his first win?
Yeah, I think so.
Sam Jackson's first win. No shit.
Yeah, I think so. They were talking about how many things got overshadowed because even Questlove from the Roots won right after the smack.
For that one. Yeah, for that. Yeah.
Documentary. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't even know what Sam Jackson won for. And you know what? It's just sad because it was such a great achievement for him, and it's now forever entertaining. I don't think they're going to take it away from him, but like it's going to be synonymous with the smack, though. It's going to be, well, he retired from the academy, which I don't know what that means. Said he resigned from the academy and all science and something.
He's out from.
So that means he can't be nominated no more, or
right.
Oh, okay. So that's I didn't know what that means. I was like, if you resigned from the academy, like I didn't know you were a part of the academy, but now that makes sense.
Right.
That's what happened today. I saw that headline.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know Sam Jackson won.
Right.
That did fuck it up for that did fuck it up for that one negative moment for all these good things that happened. That sucked. Yeah. And then for Chris, man, everyone was on Will's side, and now everyone's talking about Chris, like, oh, about Chris, he felt, they're showing video. You see the video of him standing there? No.
I see the other one now that's after that happened, and when Questlove comes up And then
Right.
Puff Daddy's like, we're going to resolve this back in the after party. And then somebody said something to Chris, and Chris is like, I don't know what. You can see he's like, he's trying to figure out, he's trying to process what happened, and he doesn't even know what to say. He's like, you know, saying, me and my sister were talking about this. Like, you can get into a fight and you can win the fight, but if you get smacked first, it does something different. Like it registers different. You know what I'm saying? From being punched in the face to being smacked. Being smacked is almost like, it's almost disrespectful for a man getting smacked. It's almost like being spit on, especially by another man you get smacked. So, like I said, you can see Chris. He was trying to process what the hell just happened, and like I don't even think he can get his thoughts together because
Right.
he just got smacked. He got smacked, and it's just it's just a different. Your brain process is different. So, like he was saying, you can win the fight, but if you smack somebody first, everybody's gonna remember. Man, he smacked the shit out of you. You beat his ass, but he walked up and he smacked the shit out of you.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But no, but
Because
Chris Rock.
think if they got in a scuffle, think if they just got into a scuffle or they were shoving each other, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But he walked up there and he smacked them and then walked away smooth.
Yeah, but I think Will Smith was brave for thinking that he could get away with that because
I don't know what he was thinking.
Right?
That to me that wasn't that wasn't Fresh Prince. That wasn't
Right.
Will Smith. I don't know who that was, but I feel like
because he didn't even hit him that hard. Because it looked like fake. It looked fake. Like if he kind of hesitated, like he hesitated kind of.
Yeah, or it looked like he smacked them and then Chris went with it, like they were acting. Like at first, from when I saw it from behind, I saw it from the back, but then when I saw it from the other angle and then from the front, I was like, oh shit, it was just smack Chris Rock, like.
Yeah, and then he kind of tensed up like he was gonna do something. And
yeah, he kind of threw his hands.
He put his hands behind his back, like I'm not gonna do it. Like he was forcing himself to not do anything.
Yeah, and that was just a natural reaction. I'm pretty sure he wasn't sure if he's gonna try to hit him again or what happened. But I was like, man, that was crazy. It was just, I mean, I think more people are disappointed because the situation, and then that is Will Smith. Like Will Smith's been like this stand-up guy for like 30 years, like what I'm saying, and what he's been through. I feel like maybe he just hit a breaking point. That was the.
How many Tupac jokes he's probably heard in the last 2 years since that whole Red Table talk. He's probably heard a shit ton of the entanglement shit.
There was memes about that too. It was like Jada. She was like, it was like Jada, and she was like, I'm not impressed. Well, Tupac would have shot me. Like the internet is unkind, bro. Like I just, here's a guy that's trying to be upstanding and do right, and they just don't let up.
Yeah, but he's and I've heard for years about the Tupac thing. Like he has that over his head too. That he and, people always compare him to Tupac, like him and Jada and him, and then him and Tupac. So I'm sure that's part of it too. But also, did you hear about they really that day after they fucking Universal Pictures or somebody, they're gonna do a fucking G.I. Jane 2 with Jada Pinkett?
No, they're not.
They're really fucking doing it.
No, they're not. Why would they do that?
Nah, I'm just kidding, bro. April Fools.
That was hey, Ross. That's how that's an April Fool's joke. That's how you do it. You transition into the joke. all these people online with, guess who's pregnant? That's whack. That's so old.
Right. Oh my god.
That was a good. I was gonna say, bro, no, she did not sign up to do G.I. Jane 2. I'm boycotting.
If she did, bro, that'd be a hugest slap in fucking Will Smith's face. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
He got you the role, man.
You made me just sacrifice my Oscar for nothing. Mm-hmm. I was protecting you.
Man.
I'm standing up for you.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. Fuck, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then they showed another angle of it from somebody right there. It had to be someone we saw, but some celebrity took a pic. You see that? Some celebrity took a video, like from behind Jada. Someone sitting behind Jada Pinkett videoed the whole thing.
Oh no, I saw a little clip of when he comes to sit back down and he's yelling, and it's from Jada's laughing after he smacks her.
Right.
After he smacks Chris Rock. And she's laughing, and
they show that.
That's all I saw.
From the back.
Yeah, it's behind her head. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's someone. So it's a celebrity, right? It has to be a celebrity because only
Yeah, of course.
who's sitting that close?
Only
Someone,
celebrities,
right? So it's I wonder who fucking leaked that fucking video.
right?
But
And
yeah,
I
that's the one I
people
seen.
somebody was like, "Oh, there's fillers in the." I was like, "No, that's at like the Grammys and stuff. At the Oscars, it's only celebrities in those first like 7, 8 rows.
And they leak. They
You see
leak.
how yeah, you see how close he was to the stage. He just walked right up there, like he was like feet away from Chris Rock. They were sitting right there in the front. So
Right.
yeah,
And then like they're fucking going back and showing all like the times they've worked together. And,
yeah, he was
like
even was on Fresh Prince of
he
Bel
was on
Air. So
Fresh Prince, and then like Jada
yeah.
Pinkett Smith and fucking Chris Rock were on Madagascar together.
Oh, ain't that about a bitch?
Yeah, it's like some shit. Like all this bullshit. They're all linked. They're all connected. I remember
Yeah.
Chris Rock used to make jokes of. He used to make those comedy albums, and he used to make comedy albums on the Will Smith songs. He used to make fun of the Will Smith
Yeah.
songs all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
He did his own Men in Black.
People show the footage of him and when he hosted the Oscars and he made fun of Jada then.
Right.
Yeah, he had a joke about her because she was trying to boycott the Oscars.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah,
Rihanna's
yeah,
panties. The Rihanna's panties
yeah,
joke.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So sometimes I feel like there might be a little history between him and like Will Smith. I mean, I don't really know, but I mean, we don't know these people personally. They could all be cool, but we don't know. Sometimes there could be an underlying little issue that doesn't get played out. Like, I look at it as like when a lot of people, when they don't work together, you never really see them in the same circle. Because even with hip hop, I used to think Busta Rhymes and Method Man didn't like each other because I never seen them collaborate until they did. It was
Mm,
just, you know what I'm saying?
you
Because I've
make things
seen
up in
Busta,
your head.
yeah. And then, but then you just kind of put two and two together. But they actually collaborated like twice. They collaborated on like, I think it was like the Space Jam soundtrack. And then they actually finally did a song together, which is like probably one of the dopest songs ever. But for a long
Mhm.
time, you never saw them in the same like circles.
What's
But
the
you would
song?
wonder why.
What's the song they did
Which
together?
one? What's happening?
What's
It's
happening? What
dope as
was this?
hell. It's Method Man song off one of his To Cal prequel album. They're on a bus, like his first song. And Bus is on a bus, he's on a bus, and they got the fake eye and shit. They're just getting hype. It's a dope ass song. It's just sick as
What's
hell.
happening?
Yeah. Yeah. You ever play that game Def Jam Vendetta?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
this
a
song's on
while,
that
but
soundtrack. Yeah,
is
that
it?
song's on that soundtrack. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Love that game. Yeah.
So just
Yeah,
beef,
but
man. Beef. People beefing together. People. Chris Rock and Will Smith. Yeah, and there's so many memes from it. Like there's this one where Drake is writing like lyrics,
yeah,
talking about like, it's fake. He's like, but he's like writing on a couch. He's like writing
yeah.
like on a tablet on a couch, and he's like, it says like, uh, you can move with my hand. I can move a rock at will.
Oh
like,
my
like
God.
so corny ass lyric. And then Dreamville. You're about Dreamville?
uh,
They dropped a mixtape or something, and
oh, I've been playing that all day.
he referenced the you hear that? He referenced there's a song where someone references that. He says everything like don't say keep my name out your mouth.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, that's what the whole thing was like. Whoa, that was quick. Like it's only Friday.
That was super quick. When was the Oscar? Sunday?
Sunday. Yeah, so it hasn't even been a week.
Damn,
And I'm hoping to drop this around then too.
damn.
It'll be like before the week's over. I'll have this out
Yeah,
hopefully.
because that mixtape just came out freaking last night.
Last night. Yeah, that's why everyone's like,
Yeah,
"What the fuck?" Let me find it. Let me find it.
yeah. I was gonna
Crazy.
say, yeah, I listened to it, but I was like, I don't think I didn't hear a lyric.
Let me find it. Yeah. Let me find it. Fucking like but yeah, uh beef and then like you're talking about the Method Man, Busta Rhymes beef,
They didn't
like
have a beef. You
you would
just
thought
think
they
they
did.
did.
Right. But
Yeah,
until you hear otherwise. Another
yeah,
one like that I heard for years was the Eminem and Snoop Dogg. I heard that for years.
yeah.
Years.
I could see that being not like a beef, but more like a fight for the spot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you heard what happened, right?
Well, yeah, but you know what? Snoop's comment made me think that he has some type of feelings about him.
And then Eminem on his latest album dissed him.
Hmm.
You heard that?
He
Okay.
just, I mean, he gave him a little nudge, like, What you want to do, Snoop?
Yeah, it wasn't a dig. I mean,
It was,
yeah, you're right. It was like a light tap, like
yeah,
I thought you. What do you say? I thought you were like a god. I thought you were the god, but I thought you were a
the
god, but
God.
I got it backwards, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
okay,
Very,
okay.
very clever line. But even for Snoop's not a battle rapper like that, so he probably was like, whatever. But that was him being like just a little nudge to see if he, it's kind of like what Jay-Z did to Nas. He gave him that little nip, and then Nas responded, and then Jay responded, and then Nas just went stupid. I don't think Jay expected that either.
Oh yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I don't think he expected that out of
But
Nas.
they went full blown. They went full blown. They did
Yeah,
you could do albums of their songs they did on each other.
yeah,
Fuck, they went
yeah,
full
yeah,
fucking blown.
yeah.
Shit was disrespectful.
But you know what? Now I love that how that came full circle because now I think they're like best friends.
Right. That's a perfect
Yeah,
example of how
yeah,
it should always be.
is
Even
exactly.
it should never get that deep. But I mean, who knows? Because I don't think anything's ever gotten that deep ever since then, right? Or am I wrong?
The beefs, nah, the
That
beefs
was like
haven't
the
really
deepest
gotten.
I've ever Tupac and Biggie, but that ended. That ended
Yeah,
abruptly. So
and
unfortunately,
then like Nas and Jay Z was more like of who's better, who's
right.
really like the king of New York type of thing. It was more music. So even though they had some personal stuff like with a female, but theirs was like all music. You know what I'm saying?
It started from a
Uh,
female, right?
well, yeah, I guess they both mess with the same girl or something like
Right.
that.
That's what started.
It's
That's where
future.
I went
Yeah,
down a rabbit hole one day. I was just like, when I used to smoke weed, I used to fucking just get high and just go. I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube,
yeah.
and what started it was that's Yo Chick with Missy Elliott.
Oh no, yeah, because
That's what started it.
but Nas made a song and he was talking about the fitted hat and the do rag, but he just randomly talking about the guys for that. So Jay Z's artist Memphis Bleak thought that he was talking about him, so he jumped out the window and went at him, and then that's when Jay was like being the big homie was like, "Nah, I got him,"
But it wasn't.
and because
But from what I understood, it wasn't just that. It was also the fact that so Nas was way bigger than Jay in the beginning. Nas started
yeah,
first,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Jay wrote for Foxy Brown,
yeah,
and Foxy Brown would always mess with Nas, like do stuff with Nas, and supposedly this maybe I'm wrong because like you said, we're not around these people, but
yeah,
supposedly Jay was like, hey, tell Nas about me, and she's like, yeah, okay, whatever, but nothing came of it,
yeah,
and that's part. I think that was what really got to him was that he was trying to get there, but Nas was better than him, but then Jay ended up just surpassing him, and then that's when Jay was like, okay, and like it's like I think it was like a power thing, and he's fucking his baby's mom, like he did that on purpose because it's Nas. Like it could have been anyone, but he
oh
picked
yeah,
that
yeah,
girl because it's a power move. I got something on
yeah,
him. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly,
So I think it's
exactly.
that's how Jay is, and that's how he ended up. And that's your chick is like him just being like, here I go, like I'm just throwing it all at
Yeah,
you at once.
and just throwing little shots though, and
Because
not
even
until like the Memphis Bleak thing is when he really jumped in it because he
right,
responded. So he was like, "Nah, I can really,"
right, right,
like you say,
right.
he just run around with a chip on his shoulder,
Because
that type of thing.
I had heard for years Nas was bumping that song, "That's Your Chick." Like he loved that song before he even
Yeah,
knew it was about him.
what it
he
was. Yeah,
was like, "What the
dude. There's
fuck?"
back in the day they did a lot of subliminal disses to each other on each other's song.
Uh huh.
Dude, there's a song with Jay and the Locks, and the Locks are dissing Jay Z on that song, but he doesn't really know it. It's subliminal.
Sneak dissing.
Yeah,
Jay Z's the
yeah,
king of sneak dissing.
yeah. But the Locks are like they were just so hungry, and they felt they had to like really take their respect type of thing. Like so I was like, it was a lot of that going on back in the day, just trying to be so competitive. Everybody want to be especially New York rappers. They all want to be the king of New York.
Right, the king of New
They want
York.
to be the next. They want to be the next Biggie.
Okay, here we go. I'm about to find it right now. Um, the Dreamville. I found it. I mean, I'm looking. I'm trying to figure out my likes.
There's actually a line of the incident already.
It's on the Dreamville. Let me find it. It was fucking crazy. Hold on, real quick. Sorry, I'll edit this slow part out. As they took it down,
They might take that shit out.
right? Maybe, but this was what was
I mean,
this?
it just came out. It
Here we
hasn't even
go.
been out 24
Here we
hours.
go.
About
It's
24 hours.
called the DJ Drama Starting 5.
Oh, I was listening to that song. I didn't listen to the whole thing yet.
Don't get Chris rocked out your socks. Anything can and will happen. And watch me walk back to my seat. Name out your fucking mouth.
Wow. I listened to that. I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah.
I listened to that. Didn't even pay attention to that. I like that song too. Wow.
That's it.
But you know what? You know what? You know what? Him doing the he does all his stuff last, so he was able to take whatever happened during the week and finish it and throw it in there real quick. That's his advantage of just talking over the songs. So I can see that. I thought it was actually a rap lyric, but the DJ drama.
I didn't know it was DJ Drama who was saying it. You're right. I didn't realize that. I thought it was someone rapping it. I heard it once,
but
and I fucking threw it away.
That's crazy. He was on it that fast though. He did it good though. Don't get Chris rocked out your socks. Anything can and will
and will.
Now watch me walk back to my seat.
Yeah, that's the post says. It's this rap thing I follow. The post says, it has begun, and then put, it hasn't even been a week yet, and then like a crying emoji.
Yeah. Actually, it's only Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Actually, Wednesday because the album has to be in by midnight, so it comes out the next day. So like 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah,
he's on it. Yeah, you know who's going to use that a lot too is battle rappers.
Definitely. But still,
they're so good with they're so good with putting current shit in their battles. That's going to be probably one of the biggest metaphor twists how they're going to use that. I already know it's going to be all over the place. That's sad but true.
It's a beef. It's a beef. It's a beef right there. That's what they're going to be the title of this episode. Beefs.
Right. That's what you got to do. Speaking of beefs, one of the king of beefs is Pusha T.
I'm so glad you brought that up, bro. I would have forgot. I was gonna forget this shit.
Yeah, I was. That was one of the things that was on my head because my sister was like, "What are you guys gonna talk about?" I was like, "We're probably gonna talk about the Will shit, and then we're gonna talk about the Pusha T." She's like, "What's up with Pusha T?" I was like, "You didn't hear the diss track from Arby's to McDonald's that he wrote?" She's like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah," and I gave her down the whole backstory about.
And that's what I said. I said, "Are you fucking serious? Pusha T's going at McDonald's? Like, how fucking petty is this?" First thing I thought, but then when I heard it, you hear it?
Yeah, that you when you told me about it, I went home. I came home to that shit like 3 or 4 times. It's just dope.
Right. I've listened to it like 18 times since. I
need like 2 more. I need 2 more verses in the hook. That shit's dope.
It's the dopest. The beat, everything is just fucking dope.
Yeah, and then the dude slips in a drug reference.
Right. And it's a meme I saw too. Like, I follow this rap stuff where they go, "Man, Pusha T is the slickest guy to put a fucking Coke reference in a fucking Arby's commercial." Like, and they probably didn't catch it, and they had to have not caught it if they put
not only a Coke reference, but a Coke reference in an Arby's commercial about a fish challenge. Dissing McDonald's. That's fucking complicated. That's calculus battle rap dissing right there. What the hell?
Right.
Super dope.
Holy shit.
I was telling my sister the backstory of that. I was like, the da 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 da. I'm loving it. Him and his brother wrote that.
Right.
And I guess he didn't get he didn't do the whole back end. He just got 500,000 and that was it.
So for the people who are listening, Pusha T wrote your favorite McDonald's jingle, and didn't get paid for it. I'm loving it. And
he got paid 500,000. That was it.
That's a lot for a fucking jingle, but yeah, you're right. Considering how much they've used it, because he probably thought they were going to use it a couple times and then leave, go to something else.
Or he just didn't understand the whole contract back in, getting the royalties and all that shit. Because he has it now with Arby's.
Because that was before, I believe that was before when I guess from what I read, 2000 was around the year 2000 he did the deal. That was before he even had an album out. He didn't even have an album out.
So that was probably his first deal.
They
had a single with Pharrell and them because they're all from the same place. And then I think they had the album, but I think they wrote that jingle before they blew up.
Right, definitely. So I'm sure that it was they didn't know business. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, we don't know these people. We're not around them, but I'm assuming it's them not knowing the business.
Exactly.
And even then, maybe that was up front. Maybe that was they Pusha T so salty about it now because they probably told him, "Oh, we're gonna use it one time, twice." Like it's just gonna be a real,
It won't last. Yeah,
and it turned into fucking like a decades. Like they still use it, I think.
Yeah. That's their damn theme
they're known
song.
for that. Yeah.
And then if he probably was like say 2000, I think we're the same age, so he probably was like 2021. 500,000. That's a fucking lot of money for somebody.
Especially back then. Especially back
taking
before.
That shit. Yeah.
Before 9/11, before the war. Fuck yeah, it was a lot of money.
I don't know about back in and like getting royalties later on. I'm thinking you got 500 for me now. Okay, I wrote that jingle. I'm out. But he lesson learned because now he has royalties and back ends with Arby's because that bump 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 bump. That's his song.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he has, and then of course the CEO was like, "Hey, can you write a diss track for McDonald's for us?"
Yes,
absolutely.
I wish I was there. I wish I was there for the fucking board meeting, like how
that conversation.
Let's see. And I bet you I don't know for sure, but I bet you they based it off of the fucking Drake shit. Like, hey,
they had to.
Yes.
They had
to.
Yeah. And if the CEO didn't really know who he was, I'm pretty sure somebody was like, "Hey, we should do something outside of the box. Let's get this guy that we are in business with, who's a great rapper and a great diss rapper, to write us a song dissing McDonald's, because we got a chicken sandwich coming out too, or a fish sandwich. Right. We got 3 fish sandwiches coming out."
And I'm not gonna lie, bro. I want to taste that fish sandwich so bad. I want to eat that shit. I'm like, I want that shit.
Dude, I think there's like 3 different ones. Yeah, right.
How crispy it is. I saw I passed by an Arby's the other day. I forget where, but I was like, ooh, like we had just eaten, but I was like, I want to fucking go to Arby's next time, man. Next time we go out,
I'm gonna try one, and I'm a snapshot and sing. Like, yo, I'm gonna put the fucking song in the background. If I can
you should fucking do that. Make a video of you eating it, and I'll put it on the podcast. If you do before the
I'll do that shit tomorrow.
The episode's over. Yeah, just record yourself, and I'll put it at the end of the podcast.
All right. And I'm gonna be like, if you see the yay or nay, but yeah, that should look good. Because there's an Arby's in Lakeside that I know of. I think it's still there. Yeah.
There used to be Arby's right here by me in La Mesa, but it's gone. Now it's like a fucking a taco shop.
Oh.
Right here by Bevmo used to be. Or Bevmo
lives. Oh, yeah. Okay.
There used to be Arby's right there on the corner.
Oh, snap.
Right,
and not too many Arby's left.
No, and that's something that I'm worried about. I mean, I'm not worried, but it just gets me when things go away. Like even Best Buy. You see the Best Buy they're all leaving? That's crazy.
Dude, the one behind work is just
first
a big empty building.
Because I've lived in La Mesa for 12 years. The one right here in La Mesa left a couple years ago, and that was shocking to me.
Yeah.
And then now the one in Santee. Yeah. And it's like, what next?
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm driving up to Redondo and I see Best Buys, I'm like, y'all got Best Buys up here? Right. They're like, yeah. I'm like, we have no Best Buys.
Right. I had just bought for my wife's birthday. Her birthday was in September. I had bought her some AirPods from that Best Buy.
Yeah.
And it was like maybe a month later. I'm driving by and I probably go to work or something. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's gone?
Right.
I was just here
overnight.
I was just here.
It's just overnight. Just wiping them out overnight.
Who's got beef with Best Buy? Who's Best Buy's competition? Amazon?
The big no, because we're not like a super electronics store like that. But we're right behind them.
Amazon? Is Amazon against them? I don't know.
I was gonna say Fry's, but Fry's is gone too.
Fry's is gone. Yeah, but Fry's was only one. It was only one.
Yeah. Fry's is like the Sam Club. It's only one.
Yeah, Sam's Club needs to go out of business, bro. Fuck.
Not they keep taking all the Costco style. They're like
garbage. Don't go to
if Costco's a dope MC, Sam's Club is the biter. Just take this style. I never been inside it or seen what it looked like until like my first day working at orientation. Right. I'd never been there. My grandparents used to go all the time, but I never went with them. I used to wonder where they get all this bulky, the little frozen orange juices and all this stuff they used to get. I was like, where do you guys get that from? They're like, we get it from Costco. I was like, what's Costco? She's like, you got to go with us one day. I'm like, eh. And then I'm at a retreat because I got the job through a scholarship, and the warehouse manager was there. He's like, where do you live at? I was like, oh, I live in Santee. He's like, oh, you come work for me at Costco. I'm like, what's Costco? He's like, just show up for orientation. I'm like, okay. I had no idea what it was, or so I never been in a building before.
That's cool. That's a really cool thing. You gotta And you've been working there for how long?
Shit. This would be October. Be 24 years.
God damn.
All right,
When
Smokey.
when do you get your gold badge?
Oh man, I still got a long way to go. Don't put me in that category. Yeah,
No, I'm
that's when you're
asking.
at
I don't
40.
know. I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's like 40 years.
And what's the silver? 30?
That's 25.
Oh, so
I'm close to that.
you're getting to the silver.
I'm close to
That,
that.
bro, if you get the silver, oh my god, that'd be amazing. Take pictures of it.
I mean, it's amazing, but then at the same time, it's like, damn.
Time goes
That's the
by.
thing. I used to think about. I was like, dang. When I used to see employees, I'd be like, damn, you started working here when I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
some of the younger guys. My boy Tony in the bakery. I think he was like 1
Oh shit!
when I started working there. I seen this kid.
Damn.
I seen this kid grow up. He's a father now. I was like, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bernie. Bernie, and the morning
Yeah.
driver. He's one of the ones I give shit to because his name badge is my birth year.
Oh, you see? Yep. Freaking Gary that post cards, he was there. He started like 81. I was 1. And then Chuck, I wasn't even born when Chuck started working there. Like 79. It's like a year before I was born, he started working there.
Bro, Chuck is like the most patient man you could ever meet.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
He gives me like
But
confidence to strive to be better because I have such an
we got him
angry
on
shit.
edge now.
Really?
Oh, you do? He's a little edgy now that he's back there in the deli with us though.
Is he?
We had to, because it's the Lions Den back there, bro.
He
They
seems to
take your
keep his
head off.
cool. He keeps his cool with
Yeah,
us.
he's really good at it though. He's a patient soul, man. He's a good dude.
I like that. That. He gives me like confidence to strive to be that, because I really want to like fucking figure out a way to unlock the code and like figure it out.
Right, exactly.
To be fucking more chill because I get so stressed out at work. Like today was one of the days where I clocked in. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna let anything happen where I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. 30 minutes in, bro. I'm like, because usually I have like a meter of like maybe 4 hours. Like when I take my lunch, that's usually when it's like, man, like it's stressful. I want to go home. 30 minutes in, I was thinking, fuck, bro, I already want to go home. Like this is crazy. Like this is fucking crazy. Like this guy today or yesterday. I'm putting bananas, in the fucking, I'm taking out the bananas and I'm putting them all, making them look nice. And this guy's watching me. And I see him watching me, but I'm just like minding my business. He's minding his, but he's watching me. And then he sees a bundle I pull out and he goes like this. And I go, I look at him and I go, please? And he goes, please, thank you. And I go, you're welcome. But it's like, fuck, it's like reminding me of my 2-year-old. Like I'm teaching him manners. Like you say please, say thank you. And it's like fuck, bro. Like you can't.
It's that membership, bro.
Yeah,
it's that membership. They're above regular shoppers. They're members. Dude, I used to try to stock the. You know how it is in the deli. I used to try to stock the case, and I don't know. Maybe I have issues that I don't want to address because like the littlest thing pisses me off. And when I'm stocking the case and they grab one off my cart, I don't know why that makes my blood boil. Like I really want to just snap because I'm stocking it. You can either wait or you can grab one, but they just look up and down the cart and they take one. I feel like sometimes the members, like you could be pushing trash through the warehouse and they'll be looking to see if there's anything they can grab or they can buy. I'm like, dude, it's a fucking stack of cardboard.
Yeah.
There's no items on here. Relax.
I don't know what there's like it's like I don't know what that is, but same thing. Like I was putting, like for some reason someone put out a whole pallet of bad raspberries. They were bad. I mean, like they just came in, they were good, but like maybe like 2 out of 3 were bad. So I was just like pulling like boxes, making boxes of bad raspberries. I'm putting them on a pallet, and I'm putting them in the corner because it's like getting them away. And people are like going through them. They're really taking them. I'm like, what the fuck? Like they're not even looking at them. They're just taking it. They're grabbing them and taking them because they're on this flat. It's like exclusive shit. It's like
exactly.
the special
kind of
special
like,
raspberries.
What does he have over there?
Yes. And I was like, holy shit. And I was telling somebody, they're not even looking at them. They're just grabbing them and going.
Yeah. They don't think, they don't assess what's going on. He's got something that's not over here. I want to do.
Right. Like exclusive shit. Like it's exclusive shit. And I'll be like trying to stock. I'll be taking like a like a box or something over. And as
Yeah.
I was walking over one time, this lady was like grabbing from like I'm holding this box of shit. It was like I think it was
Yeah.
like cucumbers, and she's grabbing, and then she grabs like one, and then she looks at it and just like it, she puts it back. I'm like holding the shit. I'm like, could you wait till I put it down?
Right.
She's like going through it while I'm holding the shit. I'm like, fuck. She's
That's like
going
when
wild, bro.
we make the salads and the entrees and people grab them. They're just like,
Right.
what are you looking for on the bottom? Like, yo, like
Right.
I don't
No,
get
but
it. They're
I'm
just
the same way, man. I'm the same way. Like I'm this close to snapping most times, and it's the little things like that too. Like you mentioned, I make me
yeah,
feel better because I thought it was just
yeah.
me.
Nah,
So
it's just,
it's like
yeah.
fuck, bro. Like
And I've been in my Zen Buddhism, this whole time. I've been pretty well with keeping myself in check. But I feel like, the closer it gets to like holidays and stuff like that, I feel like people just, they don't really think. They're just kind of just oblivious to just, like common sense shit. You know
right,
what I'm saying? I was like, come on now, let's get
right.
it together. Yeah, I don't want to have to Will Smith nobody. Chris Rock, you out your socks.
So you heard the Pusha T Arby's.
Yeah. I heard the Pusha T Arby's. It's just pretty good. That's probably one of the best ones, even though he's just talking about fish sandwiches and shit. But
What about the
the
Drake
beats,
shit?
you know what? Pusha T had an interview. Have you ever watched that show Hot Ones,
Yes, I just saw that
where
one
they eating? Yeah,
with Pusha
and
T. He
he
didn't
was
do it. He didn't
yeah,
finish it,
yeah. He's a sissy.
bro. But
Anyway,
at the end, yeah, he didn't finish it. At the end, he told him, people he couldn't believe other people finished it. Remember, he's
they
like,
do. They
who's
do.
finished it? He's like, who's finished it? He should have said
Holly
Drake.
Berry finished it.
He should have said Drake.
Oh, but Drake wasn't been on there
He
though.
should
But he
just
should have said Drake.
he just should have fucking
Yeah.
said Drake, and I bet you he would have
Yeah,
ate those
I would
fucking
have.
wings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or he would have got Chris Rock out of socks.
Right. Oh shit. No, but yeah.
I feel like the women finished more though. Holly Berry's finished it. Fucking Summer Hayek. That's my
What's her face? I forget her name, but she's really pretty. She finished it. Charlize Theron. She finished. I was surprised.
She's a beast. There's a lot of like, oh, you know what Pusha T said? Another good thing too. He was like beasts back in the day that were career ending.
Yep.
But now they're not so much because a lot of people don't really care that much. It's the shock value of what are you going to say about the other person that we might not know. But then after that, it's not like your career is done. It's kind of like whatever, we're over it. It was cool for the week. Because actually, like the Drake shit, like, and if this was like maybe 15, 20 years ago, Drake's career probably would have been over from that Pusha T song, but it wasn't.
Well, let me ask you this: who 15 years ago, whose career ended from a beef? Who can you name that their career ended from a beef? I couldn't name you one. It was just more devastating. It wasn't necessarily career ending, maybe, but
that's probably why I think people didn't really get into beefs.
It was devastating. It was just
because it was devastating. It was a career ending, but it was like it's hard to come back if you don't respond, like type of thing.
But even then, no one really, like Drake's the only one who didn't respond that I can think of. Who else didn't respond? Everyone responds. Drake's the only one that didn't respond, and it made him look a certain way, but it kind of like did that thing where people tell you, like when someone's talking shit to you, turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Or even like what Jay said. How did he say it? He said it in he said it in the diss to Nas. He said it was the Kanye one with fuck, dude, I hate that I can't remember shit. The one that Kanye did on the first song on the second song on Blueprint. The
takeover.
The takeover. Remember he goes fools who throw stones from a distance. People think that they're both fools. Like people who throwing stones at each other from a distance. He said something like that. He said something that but he kind of didn't take his own advice. He's saying like if two people are arguing with each other at a distance, you look at them both like they're fools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if one person's like turning the cheek and like one guy's yelling at the other one and the other guy just walking away, that guy may look like a bitch, but ultimately he's taking the higher road.
Yeah, and
to
KRS-One made a good point. He was like, when I started a beef with so and so, he could have deaded the beef if he didn't respond.
right,
Because then I'm the only one arguing.
right,
I'm the only one dissing. If you don't respond, then I
right.
look stupid too much. But when you respond, then now we can go back and forth.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting. But that's a
yeah,
very, very that's what Drake did. He kind of just
yeah,
left it alone and made it look like so if Pusha T would have put on another one, it would have looked really
yeah,
bad on Pusha T.
yeah. Well, not really because Pusha T wasn't. He was doing the diss, but at the same time, he's giving us stuff we didn't know. He was like TMZ and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about Drake's
I
kid.
love that.
He was giving personal information. So it was to me it wasn't a diss. It was like this dude's got dirt, like some freaking stuff we don't know about.
Right.
So who's telling what the next song would have been?
And
Maybe
that's
that
what
would have been a straight diss.
and that's what
Maybe
they're
not.
saying is that he had more. He had more shit to say.
Yeah, yeah,
Which I'm sure maybe that's maybe a reason why Drake stopped because he's like, I don't want them
yeah,
to know all the other shit.
yeah,
He knew all the
yeah,
dirt. Oh, if he knows this, then he must know this and this and this.
yeah. Exactly. But who's giving him that information? Because it's not like they're best friends. I feel like underlying, like a lot of people say, like Kanye was obsessed with Drake. So maybe that's who gave Pusha T his info. He got it
Right.
from somewhere.
Which
You know.
I feel that way that it was Kanye as well, but he Pusha T went on record onto the Joe Budden podcast. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
he made it clear where he got it from 40.
Oh,
He said that he ended up it was
he
when
got
they
it
were
from 40, who
recording.
was Drake's producer.
Right. He said that what happened was they were all going to that ranch in
Yeah,
Wyoming to make music. And Kanye was making his album, Pusha T was making his album. And he was saying how Kanye would be very vague, but he would tell him like, be here this day, don't be here this day to Pusha T
right.
because and Pusha T already knew because Drake's probably gonna be here
Somebody.
that next day.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't be there. So he made it clear this day, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And Pusha's like, all right, you know, he's my producer. I'm gonna do what he says. So he would do it. And
Yeah.
he said there was a couple of days when he was there when 40 was there.
Oh.
Not Drake, but 40. And he was on the phone with a girl, and he would talk about how they were gonna go to the baby's house, to where the baby's at, and they're gonna take gifts and they're gonna do all these things. You should watch it. It's a clip. It's a clip. Just watch it on YouTube. But he goes on Joe Budden podcast, and he right. It was, and the only reason why he's like the only reason why I'm telling you guys all this right now is to clear Kanye's name, and also because he came out after the LeBron, the barbershop. How Drake came out and he was like all crying, like, but there's lines you cross. He's going into like the beef, and he's like, that's why I'm here. He's like, everyone wants the publicist, everyone wants me to come because Drake is making it look like I'm an asshole, so I got to come and clear my name.
Yeah,
and he clears it out, and he talks about how 40's the one who leaked the information, and he goes, and I already know he knows this. He said, I know he knows this that 40's the one, and he doesn't want to admit it, but he has to live with that for the rest of his life. That his man is the one who fucking leaked accidentally all this bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't leak it purposely to Pusha T, but the fact that he said something,
right,
you know, and then Pusha even went further to diss 40 in that song too. It
right,
was like Jesus Christ.
For having multiple sclerosis, he released that song on MS Awareness Day. Did you know that?
I had no clue.
And that's what Drake says on the shop. He goes, says, he mentions that, and he goes, how disrespectful. And he even says, which I don't believe him. Drake's like, well, you know, he could talk about my mom, he could talk about my baby, you know, he could talk about all this.
Don't talk about that.
But he's like, the only thing you can't talk about is 40's multiple sclerosis. Like, really, dude? Really? That's what you're burnt about?
Yeah. Now, have you heard Tupac's Hit 'Em Up's out this record?
Yes, I have heard him. I don't understand that record.
I can't listen to that song.
Why not?
Because somebody made a good point. It was like when you were at a point as everybody, when that was going on, everybody chose a side. And I chose, even though I'm from California West, I chose the other side.
Because you chose the East Coast?
I did, man. I don't care what nobody says. Holla at me. I'm not scared.
I'm just saying, like that's interesting. And how did that work?
Yeah.
Like were people giving you a lot of shit for that?
Well, especially my family, but I would have to explain my reasons and stuff like that because I became more of a intricate with like the lyrics and stuff like that. And to me, like it's like more relatable. I didn't want to be a thug. I wanted to be fly. Biggie was like the fly, smooth, sick with the lyrics rapper. So, but I listen to all of it.
Right.
Like Tupac's Machiavelli is like one of my favorite albums, and he's dissing all my favorite rappers on that album. But I chose I chose the other side. Like I
But
can't listen to him up.
you can't listen to hit him up because
I can listen
you
to it,
take
but
it
it's just
personal.
like,
You
yeah,
take it a
so
little
this is
personal.
my man talking about his wife and shit like that shit. Yeah, it's her. My boy he didn't really respond. He's another one took the high road.
Yes, that we
But
know
he had
of.
some shots. He had some digs. And I heard he did have a diss track, but didn't get released. Just like supposedly Drake had a diss track for Pusha and Kanye about Kim and all type of shit that he
Right.
didn't release because he didn't want to get into that villain role. But like I said, hip hop is really competitive, and if you taking
Yeah.
shots at me, I'm going all out.
First off,
Going all out.
Drake shouldn't say that. If he's not gonna let us hear it, then shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Like Biggie didn't tell everybody, oh, I got this track, but I'm not gonna let anyone hear it.
Yeah.
That's some
No.
bullshit.
He just didn't say
Bullshit.
anything.
But my main thing for you is, or my question for you is, so you were born in 1980, if you don't mind me putting it out there. So
Yeah,
you were 15 when all this started going down. You were
yeah.
you were almost your way to an adult when all this started going down.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was born in 85, so I'm 5 years later than you, and I
Yeah.
missed it. I just got into hip hop. So could you explain to me that whole timeline of Biggie and Pac? Because I've researched the fuck out of it and I know it, but I want to know
Yeah.
from your perspective how that went down.
Like from
Like what was the first thing you heard they had a problem?
I realized the first thing they had a problem when he got out of jail and he was shooting the California Love video, and then he was a behind. MTV used to do making a video,
Right.
and it'd be behind the scenes, and he's counting the money, and he was like this is for my baby Faith, I love you. This is for Bad Boy, and he like did the eye wink, and we was like, what's that about? What is this about? And then it seemed like it kind of like escalated after that. I forgot when Hit 'Em Up came out, but that was when you already felt like there was something going on, like as far as their whole beef. Like you said, he blamed them when he got robbed that day, where he was going up to see them at the studio because they were, everybody knows they
Right.
were like really tight and stuff like that. Before like Pac was like with the Death Row, and he was like really East Coast influence. If you look at the Naughty by Nature videos, the movie Juice, that's all like East Coast stuff.
Oh,
Because I mean he's born
he was
in New
born
York,
out there.
so
He was born
yeah,
out
he's
there.
born in New York.
Yeah. So that's why I don't understand
Yeah.
even all that. I mean, I do understand because I've learned it, but at that time, I feel like people should have put it more in his face. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like,
Yeah,
you're born
exactly.
on fucking New York. Like, what are you doing? And even then,
Yeah,
he lived
but
in
when you
Oakland. He lived in Oakland. When he
yeah,
lived in California, he didn't live in L.A. until the end of his
yeah,
life.
yeah. But when you team up with the people who came and got you, looked out for you, of course he was loyal to them. Like, they came and bailed him out and put him on death row. And, Snoop was like, dude, when he came there, we was just giving him all the hits we had. We were giving them to him. Just give all that shit to Pac. Let's get him back where he belongs, which is like, that's the family. So of course he freaking went all out for them. But I just felt like it was just a vicious attack on Biggie. And then they started playing into this whole East Coast versus West Coast. Everybody's picking a side, and everybody started having underlying diss songs for each other. Like Mobb Deep, like they all would represent where they were from, trying to like, we're hood over here, we're good over there. But yeah, I remember living with my grandma out in Santee, and she's like old Irish white lady that like took me in. It's my dad's wife's parents, and she knew I was into like hip hop, so like, when he died, I came over to school. She's like, "Oh, that rapper Tupac guy, he died." I was like, "Oh man, for real?" She's like, "Yeah." And then she knew I really like Big, so when he passed away, I came over to school again. She's like, "That Biggie guy you like passed away today or last night or something like that." And I was like, "No!" I was devastated. Like, she didn't know what was going on, but she just knew that because it was all on the news and stuff like that. I was like, "This is crazy."
I remember my brother and I. So I was in '96. I'm born in October, so in October '96, I was 11. So I was 11 years old. My brother was 3 years younger than me, so he's 8.
Yeah,
Um, and we had this membership to remember the Columbia House Records, where like
Yep.
you
Yep.
buy you pay the
Order.
penny for a fucking.
Yeah, you get 13 CDs. Yep.
We got together and I ordered like Life After Death was one of my first albums. Jay-Z's
Yeah.
Hard Knock Life.
Yeah. I ordered the same shit.
Right. Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life was the first album I ever owned.
Oh,
And
nice.
of Jay-Z's. And bunch of others like the Source with J.O. Felony was on there.
Yeah.
So it was all these compilations, but Life After Death at that time was like that, like More Money, More Problems on the radio.
Yeah. They were killing it.
Hypnotized on the radio. Hypnotized the video was out. You know, was you could see the video.
Like a movie,
right? Yeah. And I remember my brother had told me, he was 8, I was 11, so I was like, "Fuck you, what you're saying." He had told me. I came home from school one day. He's like, "Hey, Notorious," because we didn't know him as Biggie. We always knew him as because of the CD said Notorious B.I.G. Notorious B.I.G. died today. I go, no, he didn't. How did he make that video then? How did he make that Hypnotized video?
They're kids,
right? And he's like, that's what they said on the TV. They didn't believe him. Sure enough, he fucking passed away. And I was like, what? Now, and I didn't even know who Tupac was. Didn't know who Tupac was at this time. I was 11, and as I got older, I went back and I would listen, you know. But I remember seeing videos of the hearse being driven down Brooklyn.
Yeah,
and everyone's bumping Hypnotized, going crazy. And I remember someone a couple years ago, a little kid who wasn't even born. He wasn't even born when that happened. He was born like 2000, 2001. And he's like, "Man, I love Biggie, but I don't know why." He's like, he saw that video. He saw that video of Biggie being pushed in the hearse and bumping Hypnotized. And he's like, "I don't get why they're playing Hypnotized. That's like one of his worst songs." And I was like, "Well, son, you need to understand that when he passed away, that was the single that was out at that time. That's why
that was that
song was brand new."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh," and I felt like a fucking dad. Like, God damn, bro. Like these kids don't know, you know? Like, you know, but that was interesting. I knew that. I remember seeing that when it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that too. You know what I too was like, you know, they were like, "Oh, you know, how can you consider him one of the top when he only had like 2 albums and stuff?" I said, "But look at his impact, you know." And you forget how young these guys were. He was like 24. I don't think he was 25. Tupac was like 26. These guys were young when he died. But look how much they did within that time.
And they were fucking, dude. Tupac was 25. Biggie was 24. Yeah, that's crazy. They were kids.
That's crazy. They were kids. Yeah.
Like when I was a kid,
had all this influence.
When I was a kid, I'm like, these guys are full-grown adults.
Yeah, I know. They were like old men.
Yeah, but now looking back,
just like not old men, but grown men.
Looking at them now, it's like they were fucking kids.
The kids, yeah, they were kids with all this power and influence.
So
like, what
crazy.
would you do with that? What would you do with that type of influence and power at 25 years old?
Right.
I would crack.
Shit. Who knows? Yeah. Who fucking knows?
Yeah. That's a lot. And I, you know, that's the credit where, like, I feel like we have superstars now, but not as big because we didn't have so much personal gain to them access. Like we have all the social media now where we can see what they're doing and stuff like that.
Right.
I only know what was personal with Tupac and Biggie or anybody through an interview in a magazine or an interview on Rap City or something like that. Otherwise than that, I had to wait for the album. You know what I'm saying? It was like mysterious. Like, you know what I'm saying? We had to wait.
You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect way to word it. It was very mysterious. I remember one time seeing a picture of Tupac in a bathtub with all these gold fucking necklaces and shit and everything.
I remember that picture,
thinking like, what the fuck is like this is how he takes a bath? Like thinking like this is his life? But you know, obviously it's for the, you know, glitz and glamour, but
it's for the picture,
it's
the
like,
photo shoot,
but at the time thinking like this is like a weird, like this guy's all about gold, you know, like it was just it would just, like you're saying, like it just felt to me like it was a like it's very mysterious, like to see like who made that choice, why did he go with it, you know, like
exactly.
What is it? What does this piece of art mean?
Yeah, exactly. You only saw it like in a magazine, like you said. It was very mysterious. We had to wait. So anything was like, "Oh my God, did you see that? Did you hear that?" and it was kind of like word of mouth. By the time it got to you, who knows how messed up the story was? Probably 10 times worse
Right.
than it was before it started. You know, that's why I feel like even with like people like with like everybody talks about like Michael Jordan. It was like because we didn't Michael Jordan didn't have Instagram and shit. It was word of mouth. Like somebody that was at a game saw him do something crazy. People came from around the world to see him. It was like you had to go see these these bigger than life people
Right.
because that's the only way you can access them. But now I feel like everybody everybody's on social media, so you can see them all the time. Like
Yeah.
but back then it was.
It's different.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's why I call it the golden era. The golden era. I feel like the mid '90s to like the early 2000s was like the golden era. I
Yeah.
feel
I
like the
mean,
mid '90s is really the golden era. The rappers had cool names. They just seemed bigger than life. Like you can't tell me you didn't think DMX is like 7 feet tall. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It was like just bigger than life. Like Method Man, Redman. These guys had cool names. Busta Rhymes, like they had personalities. Like it was just different. You know what I'm saying? I can go back to that era and I can pick an album or a song and it's going to take me back to a certain part of life.
Yeah, but that's
Like
just us. That's just us, man. That's
yeah,
just
that's
us. I
us.
feel like it's
That's
just
us.
us, because that's our
Yeah,
generation. Because I feel like old
yeah,
people who like fucking listen to old Elvis records are like, oh my
yeah.
god, that's the
You're
golden
right. So,
era.
right. So just
When
think
we
about
hear
the
that shit, we're like,
generation.
what the fuck is this? You know?
Yo, turn this shit off. So that's how like our kids are going to be like. Just imagine
Yes,
not
100%.
like our kids that's like they grew up in like the Drake and Justin Bieber era.
Hmm.
This is their golden era.
Right, right,
They
right.
they they
Which is
go they want to
fucking,
listen to our shit.
which is intense. If you like, it's like someone comparing, like if you compare Tupac to Elvis, someone's like, fuck you.
Yeah,
An old guy's like,
yeah,
fuck you. Elvis is better. Like that's gonna
yeah,
be us when they're like, oh, and who knows what's coming next? Like something worse,
exactly.
probably, or not worse,
Yeah,
but something that we think is worse. That's not really, but
yeah,
because
yeah.
You can't compare Drake to Tupac, but
No, but
people
a
will
kid that
say
loves Drake,
there's
you can. Yeah,
hundreds of thousands of people who will say right now Drake is better than
yeah.
Tupac
They
without
say Drake's the best, the
right,
greatest ever,
right.
and
I've heard a
that's
Tupac song. Drake's better. Like
yeah,
what the
yeah.
fuck,
That's kudos to them because that's who they're growing up with. That's all they know. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
like you said, who knows? Thank goodness what's the name career fizzled out because he probably would
Who?
have been in that category. Freaking
Who?
Tagashi.
Hey, fuck, bro. He's out.
Because I
He's
know
out.
I've seen people that idolize that fool. They dyed their hair the color and all type of stuff. Like, there's no way people like this dude the way they do, and they did.
You know when I knew it was over?
Uh,
When Royce the 5'9" made that video.
what video?
When Royce made that Overcomer. I don't know. But no, dude, he was a fucking, that's a whole other podcast, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He was a fucking phenomenon. Like like,
right.
not trying to give him credit, but I mean, he did something that was fucking crazy.
And then at the same time, he's on that flip side of that coin. He's one of those here today, gone tomorrow.
100%. But he is a prime
Yeah,
example of that, of how that can be.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Your rights of fame can be
But
just so fast.
that's when I knew
It was
he
over.
was over, when I saw that video and I
Yeah,
saw Royce talking, basically making fun of him, or not making fun of him, basically addressing his situation and thinking
yeah,
like, wow, he made that look really like serious. He made it look
yeah,
like a serious like disease. Like,
yeah.
don't do
He didn't
this,
make
guys.
he did. Yeah, he didn't make fun of him. He was like,
He
"Yo, you
made
go down this road.
he made it like a
This is what's going to
disease.
happen."
Like, yeah, do
Yeah,
not, like, this is a bad thing,
yeah,
not a good thing. It's a
yeah,
bad thing,
yeah.
which
Don't
was
become addicted to
crazy.
chasing the fame. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, just think if he didn't, the kids, because there was kids that loved that dude, and
Yeah.
just think about they would compare him to whoever just because of, you know. I think people are so quick to idolize, you know, whoever's getting pushed on them nonstop. I feel like there's like the record companies, they aren't as big as they was, but they still have that power to like put your music in the masses
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
get you all that exposure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Oh
even
yeah.
somebody said that. Somebody was like, "Oh, what's the difference between being independent and being on a major?" It was like, the major labels, they get your music everywhere. So when your shit's getting 4 or 5 spins in 2 hours, that's the big label just putting you in people's faces, even though if they don't want you. you know what I'm saying, say you've heard a song that you didn't like the first 3 times you heard it, but after 20 times you're like, oh, that's just kind of good. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you keep hearing it. You either get tired of it or you start
Yeah,
feeling.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I
That's why
fucking
we
hate
stopped
that
listening to
shit.
the radio, because 933 was beat shit every 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, and it
I was
was
like,
it's
dude,
way worse. But even like Apple
yeah,
Music and Spotify's turning into that. Like with
yeah,
playlists, so you listen to playlists,
yeah.
unless you put your own shit, which is sometimes I'm lazy. So I'm just gonna listen to the radio or like
Dude,
what they want.
I got an Apple Music. I got like 113 playlists, just so each one can have different music, because there's so much music out there.
Right. But
And I
my
get
thing,
and I get music from TV shows.
you never listen to like playlists that they curate for you?
No, all my
Really?
playlists I make myself. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Interesting.
so and then I'll get a lot of new songs from like when I watch all these new TV shows. They got great music of like, I give them credit because they got great music by the artists that are not discovered yet. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll Shazam it. And these artists are all on Spotify and
That's
Apple.
cool.
And I'll make a playlist with like these artists I've never heard before, or whatever. There's a group that I posted today. They're all at a table. They all have microphones, and this one dude, he's going crazy, and he's talking about being jumped in the club and how he's not cool with police, but he's glad they showed up because he probably got killed. It's a really creative song. But I was like, who is this group? And then it says their name at the top. So I go Google their name, and then I go on Apple, and they have like one album out. It's a pretty dope ass album.
Ah,
They're like a hip hop 4-man group, and they're all, you can tell they made their album in their apartment. They're called Coast Contra,
how'd you
but
find
that
them?
shit is dope. I was just somebody posted that clip on freaking social media, and then I just looked their name up in Apple, and they had a whole album out. I was like,
That's
that's freaking dope.
crazy. That's so crazy
Yeah,
that like
yeah,
the way you find music now is so crazy. Yeah.
yeah. It's crazy, and there's so much good music out there. But like I said, what's being pushed to the masses is the stuff that makes you shake your booty, like, you know what I'm saying, just the
Right,
simple
right,
shit.
right. And
But
it's always gonna be
but
that way. Always gonna be that
yes,
way.
of course, because
But yeah,
that's what the kids rush to.
but that's what's
You
crazy
know,
about all these new genres of music. All these different genres of music are
yeah,
being made because of just mixing styles and mixing. Like for example, like I was telling you about or no, you were telling me about how like these TV shows just put crazy songs on. Like one time I was
yeah,
remember Rihanna's last album, the last album. I
yeah.
forget what it's called, but I
I think it
listened
was anti, right?
Anti. I listened
Yeah,
to that shit over and over again so many times. It's a good album.
yeah.
One of the great. It's a really
Oh
because it's
yeah,
like her rapping over rap beat or her singing over rap beats,
yeah,
which is like
yeah,
that's why I like Beyonce's album, the Lemonade one. She was
yeah,
just singing over rap songs, and I
yeah.
like that. I like that. But one of the things about Rihanna's song is I listened to the album Anti, and one day my wife and I were watching this show called uh, Handmaid's Tale. You ever heard
I
of that
heard of
show?
it. I
Okay,
heard
we're
of it.
watching
Yeah,
that show, and at the end, they always end with a song, like a crazy fucking song, and they ended
yeah.
with this Rihanna and SZA song, and I'm like, holy
Oh
shit,
yeah,
it
I forgot
fit
what the name of that song is.
perfect. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
You're talking about,
yeah, yeah,
and like they started playing it towards like something happened, something intense happened, and they played it, and
yeah,
I'm like, oh, I knew the song, I knew, and it make like the feeling you get when like someone got killed or something like that. It was like a
yeah.
great, and then that song started playing,
Oh
and I'm
yeah,
like, it like brought a whole different vibe to the situation. Like I
right,
never like this song is like the perfect song to play right now
right,
for the outro to
right.
this episode. And it made me feel so good. I was telling my wife, you got to hear this fucking song. The song is good. Like
Yeah,
considering what we just saw, and it's just
right.
like stuff like that where it's like these TV shows, man, they like breathe new life into music, especially
Oh
like when
yeah,
you get
definitely.
into a show, the music helps, or even I don't know if the music makes the show or the show makes the music better, but it's like a mixture of both. Where like if it
Yeah,
wasn't for that
it
particular
intensifies
song,
the scene.
that show
Yeah,
wouldn't be as great.
yeah, it intensifies the scene. If you ask me,
Right.
like I'm watching the Bel Air show. Now
Oh, the
we
new
talking
one?
about Fresh Prince. It's really good. It's
Is
really
it?
good. It's crazy how they took elements of the sitcom, but they made it where it's real. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they give you little sprinkles of Fresh Prince in there, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. So like, the whole, West Philadelphia born and raised. They don't do the theme song, but he actually says that when he's talking to somebody. He's like, "Oh, where are you from?" He's like, West Philadelphia born and raised, and he was like the rest. Like it's pretty dope how they do it. But they have the music that they have in there. They play it during the scene, and it just goes so well with the scene. So like usually on that show, I have my phone out and I'm Shazamming all the songs, and 10 episodes. I think I have like 89 songs from that show that
10
I
episodes, 89
Shazam,
songs?
and I made a playlist of the Bel Air show on Apple Music.
That's how you do it. So you
Yeah,
focus on, and you make it a
yeah,
Bel Air playlist.
yeah. And I had the picture of the Bel Air cover and everything. And then they actually have like you can Google Bel Air episode 1, all the music, and they'll list the music. Some of it's on Spotify, some of it's on Apple, but it's mostly on both of them.
That's
But then
cool.
there's some songs that they don't list on there, and that's when I Shazam it, and I got. That's why I have a little bit more songs than they have.
That's how you make your fucking playlists.
Yeah.
No, your playlists are fucking. I forget, and I don't even know what playlist I listen to, but I remember hearing some playlists. I'm like, holy fucking shit!
Yeah,
like,
playlists I play in the daily sometimes.
It's all fit. It all fits. Like it all fits.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure even like if you like when you grouped up all those 89 songs, like there's a certain vibe to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Like it's like it gets you hyped, then it mellows you out, then it's like, it takes you through the emotion of the actual show. But it's all I was saying
so crazy. That's intense.
I was saying how the show starts out in Philly. So they have some old school, not old school, but some Meek Mill, Freeway.
What?
But then it gets into the new era.
I mentioned something one time during one of your playlists. Do you remember which playlist that was I was listening to?
Oh shit!
Because you could send them, huh? You could send your playlist to people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I sent my playlist to Derek because he was like I was listening to this group called Duran and
Duran?
No, not Duran.
Oh, I was like,
it's a new group. It's called Duran
okay.
and the Inconceptions, or I forgot what it's called. But he was like, "Oh, when did this come out in the '70s?" I said, "Dude, nothing on this playlist is older than 2014." He's like, "No way." I was like, "Yeah, this is the kind of music they make. They make old soul type music, and then I found a whole list of people that make the same music, and I feel like that's where Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak got that style from.
Yeah,
because that album fits right in there.
Because I like their stuff. I mean, I haven't really heard much of it, but they're definitely going down an avenue that other people have gone down that aren't as popular. Like that. That's a genre of music. Like modern day
Duran group makes
old
that
school, like modern day old school vibe music.
Dude, I've seen that playlist. That group is good. A quick story, real quick. I had a date with a chick, and I bought tickets for that group, but I didn't know who they was. So then they have a really popular song called "Young Americans," which is pretty popular. And I was like, "Oh, this is the group that sings that song." If I'd have known that, I would have freaking went by myself because she canceled it on me, and I had already bought the tickets, and then I just didn't go. Like, what I'm saying? But
always go, man. Always go.
Yeah, I should have went though.
I had a date one time cancel on me. We're going to see Lauryn Hill in 2014.
Oh yeah.
I went anyways. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Good. I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah.
This chick I was trying to get back with, and I was like, fuck you, I'm going. And I had the best fucking time. And all my life I've heard Lauryn Hill hates white people.
No, she doesn't.
But you've heard that too, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that all my life.
She doesn't.
Her whole band was white. And she was vibing with them the whole fucking night.
Yeah.
Their guitarist was like this rock dude, like playing guitar. Yeah. And when he'd play like his solo, she'd be like next to him going like, fuck, like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Best
so she was performing her old hits then.
She performed everything. She did even the Fugees songs without the Fugees, without the fucking she did everything. She did almost every song off of Miseducation. Yeah, she did all that shit. I was like, what the fuck?
I remember somebody was like, dude, I'll never listen to her because she said something, derogatory about white people.
Right.
But then I did some research about, like, I guess whoever the guy was doing the interview, he wasn't vibing with her, so he kind of spinned it to make it seem like she said that. So instead of her kind of pleading her case, she just was like, I'm just going to be done because this is not what I wanted, like, type of thing. And I think that's why she's kind of been making a little bit of a comeback.
Right.
But I saw that too with the whole white band. They were because they have a behind the scenes in the dressing room. She's like, "Hey, Johnny, I need you to do this. I need you to do that." And everybody in there is white except for the girl taking the notes, who's like a black chick. I'm like, I don't think she doesn't like white people. Like, her whole band is freaking white.
I mean,
like,
if she does, she does, but it didn't look like it because she was vibing with them. And then Like I've heard that from Eminem too. Eminem would say that all the time. Like in the beginning, Eminem would always, because I guess Eminem was with the Outsiders, and the Outsiders used to fucking open up for Fuji's back in the day.
Oh
And
yeah,
Eminem
yeah.
used
They're
to fuck
from
with the Outsiders, and
yeah,
New Jersey. They're all from New Jersey.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
So it's the
yeah.
Fugees.
So
Yeah,
Eminem knew Lauryn Hill personally, and I guess he had a
yeah.
bad interaction with her.
Oh
And
yeah,
he would
okay.
always talk about like Lauryn Hill. Like I bought Lauryn Hill's
Yeah.
tape so where kids can starve. Remember that one? No, remember that one?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. That was one of the things she said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he would always talk shit about Lauryn Hill because of that, because of his
yeah,
interaction with her.
yeah. I remember somebody said that's why that was the thing. She said she would rather have her kids start and have like white people listen to her music, which I feel like that was like harsh. Unless
Yeah,
I heard that come out of her mouth, I was like, I don't know if I
exactly.
really
Yeah,
could
yeah,
believe
yeah.
that.
Even then,
You
like
know?
it's all perception. Like
Yeah,
she may have done
exactly.
something small and someone thought took it to a bigger level. But
Yeah,
no, man,
yeah,
yeah, Lauryn Hill was great, but I did that. I
yeah.
did that with them. We went off, but yeah, I went to a show. I went to a Lauryn Hill show by myself, and I had a great time.
I should have went to that Duran show because now I love their music though. Their music is like I said, nothing's made no later than 2014. It's all current like type of thing. I was like, these guys are freaking dope. Yeah, they got a good style. Yeah, I try to be very versatile in like the deli because everybody likes different type of music. So sometimes my playlists are like all over the place because everybody likes the only music that gets banned out of the playlist that nobody likes is country. But I got some country songs, but I'm
You
not
like
gonna play them
country?
if nobody. I got a few that are like the words are like I dedicated like a few to my lady and stuff like that. Like the
What?
lyrics be hitting you sometimes,
What
huh?
country do you like? Like what? Who? What acts? What's going on?
What's that guy's name? I know the song is called Soul. That's a good one.
The song is called Soul.
Yeah, I forgot his name though. Uh,
Tim McGraw.
no, not Tim McGraw. His name is like something James Birch or something like that.
I don't know who
It's a
that
newer
is.
song. That Tennessee Whiskey song is one of the best songs I've ever heard. Period. I don't care
Tennessee
what genre
Whiskey?
music. That's a good ass song. Just hands down, it's a good song. It's
That's
a good
crazy.
song.
I grew up in
Yeah.
Bakersfield, and it's like country is like they put country
Band.
CDs in your they put country CDs in your fucking mailbox. Like you had to listen to
Oh,
country.
in Bakersfield.
Oh, so I don't know if you know who Buck Owens is. He's like the biggest celebrity that lived there. Buck Owens.
Oh,
He has his own street, Buck Owens Boulevard, and he has Buck Owens Crystal Palace, like
shit.
country. So Bakersfield's country, like they fucking listen to country. So like
shit.
if you're in Bakersfield, you most likely listen to country in Bakersfield. So I grew up listening to country too, but mainly the old stuff like Willie Nelson and like Tim McGraw,
I like George Strait.
George Strait all day.
Yeah.
I love George Strait.
Yeah, all my exes live in Texas. That's a jam.
That's a really good song. It's a really good song.
Yeah,
really creative song. Like, you know what I mean? Like from a songwriting standpoint, very creative song.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, like I would never admit that. Like if someone was like, "Hey, you like nah, fuck no." Like,
don't listen to that shit. And I don't mind anybody who comes back there and helps us, if they like tell me to put on a song and I'm like feeling it, like I love it. I think the lady Sheila, she put me on to some music. Like even Odalise told me about a song that I liked. I was like, I'm gonna put this on my playlist. Like
country?
Just a different. No, it was actually kind of like more of like an alternative, almost like an alternative, like I don't know, electric type of song. It's crazy. All these songs had different genre names now.
Right. Before it was just
they're,
rock, rap,
blended style.
Yeah.
And now it's in country
hybrids.
and R&B. But now you got like freaking electric funk.
Yeah.
You got
hybrids.
Neo alternative punk rock.
But just like rap, like there's mumble rap now. There's classic. There's West Coast. There's what is it? What would you call New York rap? I don't know. New York rap? I don't know. And then even before, when in the 90s, that's one thing that we didn't have is it was East and West. It was only East and West. Now it's we have Atlanta representing. We have the South. We have fucking Texas. We have acts from Midwest. Before we didn't have that. In the 90s, we did not have that. It was all just black and white, red and blue.
It was there, but this wasn't dominant,
Right.
Because in the mid 90s, I was on the Outcasts.
But I remember, I was going to say that. I remember that speech they did. The South has something to say. That whole
Yeah,
speech,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
historical. That
Oh
started.
yeah, Andre 3000. Yeah,
That made everyone be like, okay, what do you got to say? And Atlanta they stepped up. Atlanta
you know what?
stepped up and fucking
Somebody made a post today, and it was like, "How long has Atlanta controlled hip hop?" And somebody was like, "Probably since 2004 or five."
probably since that moment that Andre 3000 stood up and said that. And then
I
the
want to
South has
say,
something to say. Because
you want to know what
Stankonia was like the
think?
beginning of me listening to that music, even though I didn't know where they
Yeah,
were from really. But Stankonia was the
yeah,
beginning for me of Atlanta music for
yeah,
me.
yeah. I always liked the South, but I felt like they had to kind of blend their styles. So if like Outkast was kind of similar to like an East Coast style because they were lyrical, but then you had like Ghetto Boys who were like they were South, but they were you could kind of consider them West Coast. But
Right.
Scarface rap with a lot of West Coast artists. But I feel like of course, like you said, Stankonia, Ludacris, kind of
Oh
that was like
yeah.
99, 2000.
Fuck.
Yeah,
T.I. T.I.
yeah.
was right
Then
then.
Master, yeah, Ti, Master P,
Master
No
P.
Limit,
Master P was
Cash
before that.
Money,
Make you
Cash
say,
Money.
oh.
Yeah, Master P was that's mid-90s. But you know what? You know what? I think when Atlanta snatched it was the crunk era because that's when it was everywhere. Little John, it was everywhere.
Right.
Chappelle show, it was everywhere. The
Right.
crunk era was like crunk era is when they kind of claimed it, like this is ours. And then I feel like they haven't really released it since. Everybody's been trying to sound like them.
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, you know what I'm saying?
Right. That's crazy. I forgot about Ludacris. Ludacris from the South. Ludacris
I feel
was
like
huge.
Ludacris was like that's why somebody was like, oh, Ludacris, the guy from the Fast and Furious. I was like, oh no, let me give you a history lesson, kid. This
Hey,
guy was one of the dopest lyricists ever.
that's real. That's real shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, people now
yeah,
they think that he's an actor, but he used to
yeah,
fucking rap
exactly.
his ass off.
Yeah, yeah. Let me play the Made You Look remix real quick.
Fucking throw them bows.
Have you shook it, right?
Fuck.
Yeah. So
That
then
was an
hospitality.
era.
What was that? Let me lick you from your head to your toes. What's your fantasy?
Oh yeah, what's your
Come on,
fantasy?
man. Right, right.
I'm gonna throw them bows was the first song I ever heard of his, and I was like, who the fuck is this? Like that song bumped. It bumped. I remember hearing it on the way home from from like we were playing sports out of town.
Yeah.
And we're on the bus coming back, and I remember hearing someone was playing that song, probably on the radio, and I was like, "Fuck, bro! Like this song is fucking hitting hard right now."
Like, who produced that beat?
Is it Kanye? Who? Tell me.
Pharrell.
Pharrell did Throw Them Bows?
Pharrell, yeah.
Damn, I did not know that till right now.
Yeah, but remember they were like his producing group. They're the Neptunes.
Right. The Neptunes.
That's the Neptunes.
Yeah, I remember that.
But Pharrell, yeah.
And what's NERD? Is that the same thing?
That's their group.
That's the group. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
So
know anything of that.
Yeah. So the Neptunes is Pharrell, then that guy Chad, like his best friend.
Chad Hugo.
And then NERD is Chad, Pharrell, and then there's another black guy that sings sometimes with Pharrell.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a three-man rock group. You know what I heard about NERD when I used to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
Really?
Yeah, because they were interviewing Tony Hawk, and they were like, "What kind of music are you guys listening to right now on your tour?" He's like, "Man, all we listen to is NERD," and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
That's crazy.
And I looked it up, and I was like, "That's that Pharrell dude." And then he had a whole right group. I was like, "What? This dude's he's locked down like 3 different types of music. He's producing, he's got NERD, and then he even raps a little bit. You know what I'm saying?"
I thought
if you look at his
I thought you were saying Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the video game.
No, yeah, the songs are on the video game.
Oh, are they? Oh,
yeah, the songs are on the video game. Yeah, the songs are on the video game.
Oh,
and if you look up Pharrell's like catalog, like he had his hands all over the mid-90s.
Yeah.
You said one of the first albums that you had was Hard Knock Life.
Right.
He produced some tracks on there.
He did. It's right.
He even produced on Mace's first album.
Did he?
Yeah, dude, he's been around for a minute.
That Mace's first album was hard as fuck. I used to listen to that over and over again.
Yeah.
DMX, Jay-Z was on it.
Yeah, I think one of the songs with Pharrell is with DMX. I think.
Oh,
I know one of them. One of them is Why is your girl looking at me? Why is your girl looking at me?
That's Pharrell?
Standing over. That's for real on that beat. Yeah.
Why you
Yeah.
over there looking at
You
me?
looking at
While my
me?
girl
With my
standing
girl
there.
standing here. Yeah.
Why
That's for
you
real beat.
over there looking at me? While my girl standing there. Now what the hell is you looking for? Yeah, that's a song. Can a young man get money anymore? Let my
Oh, my
pants
man.
hang down to the floor. Yeah, oh man. And then
You know
Kanye
more
took
lyrics
that.
than I do.
Kanye took that.
Yeah, he
Remember
did.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all recycled, bro. That's what
Oh
I'm
hell
saying.
yeah! But no, man, that was the fucking jam back in the day. Why
Yeah,
you
that was the
over
shit.
there looking at me while my girl standing there? Like, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." Oh, and you're
Right?
right. That's the
Yeah.
Pharrell signature.
Yeah, that he has a signature, yeah.
The
Yeah. Yeah. That's that Neptune shit. Yeah.
damn. I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that.
And I feel like one of his big first hits was like, of course, the Nori, the Super Thug.
Okay, I remember that. I remember that song for
Nori,
sure.
Nori just says, what the whole hook.
Right.
What?
Yeah. Holy shit, bro.
Right.
God damn.
Yeah. Right. And then to come full circle back to the beef shit, it's funny because Mace just put out a diss track to Puffy.
I've heard about it, but I have not heard the song.
I haven't heard the diss
I'm not
track, but I
into
heard
listening.
the freestyle. Yeah, I'm not into listening to Mace. But he did do another ad song for some type of clothing brand where he's just rapping a cappella. The dude still got it though. He's pretty fucking good.
No, I agree because I heard that Cameron beef. Remember 2017? Cameron and Mace went back together. Mace killed.
He destroyed Cameron.
Mace killed Cameron. Right?
Yeah, he destroyed Cameron.
I forgot what it's called, but Mace did well, very well. And that's like,
I was shocked.
Me too. And you're telling me right now, Mace is still a good lyricist? I believe it. I fucking believe it.
Yeah.
Because I was so fucking shocked. Because you couldn't. I mean, maybe you could, but you couldn't make Mace like someone write for Mace. I feel like Mace, you could tell just from knowing him all these years. That's his. That's his words.
Yeah, he wrote his shit. Yeah, and then it was another thing too is that he said he got kind of discovered with Puff because he was hanging with the Lox so much. The Lox were like, dude, he was like our fourth member. He can really rap because he was always training with us.
And what he was like, he was like 19. He was 19 when that started, right? When all that fucking Harlem World bullshit came around.
Yeah.
So Mace was young. Like he's been in it, and I believe it. I mean, I believe it. He's a very good lyricist. I can't remember the songs, but I remember listening to it on SoundCloud often, like thinking like, fuck, Mace is back. He's coming back.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna come back, but because that whole comeback shit back in the day. Remember that was a garbage rollout. I thought it was like,
what was that? Mace is back.
Mace is back. Yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Garbage. I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah,
and then
that was hot trash.
Get Back remix. No, the Lean Back remix. He was on the Lean Back remix. And Eminem started rapping on it, going, Mace is back and shit. And I'm like, they paid him to do that.
Oh, you know what? That's when he signed with 50 for like a hot second.
Right.
He's with G.
And they're doing the window shopper, and Mace is literally not rapping on this shit. He's in the video, literally window shopping. He's not even fucking rapping. He's like in the video, window shopping. Like, how sad is this shit? And then fucking, what are the other two guys that get signed to G Unit? The fucking
Tony Ayo and Lloyd Banks.
No.
Oh no, MOP. MOP.
The one that passed away recently, Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep.
They fucking tatted G Unit on their arm. I remember thinking like, fucking mistake, bro. They tatted G Unit on their arm. I remember thinking, fuck, bro.
Their album with G Unit is pretty good though.
Which one?
They have one album that they made on G Unit Records. It's pretty dope.
Mobb Deep?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I never heard it.
Because I remember 50, he signed Mobb Deep, MOP, and Mace. But Mobb Deep was the only ones that made the album. MOP went, so they left. They was like, we're not dealing with this shit.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
We'll check that out.
The album was pretty good.
Because their beats were sick. Yeah, they did. They tatted them. So I remember thinking like, mistake, bro. Mistake. Yeah. But, no, man, I'm gonna have to listen because I remember G Unit, like the Beg for Mercy bullshit, like that album, that era.
Yeah.
They had some hard fucking beats.
Like their beats were dope.
Right.
Their beats were dope as hell. Yeah. Hell yeah. I love that. That's like a hype ass, like if you getting ready to fight, that album is what you want to put on. That Beg for Mercy.
I remember me and my buddies used to cruise the mall and just fucking
Yeah.
bump that shit. And this guy he bought dub he called them dub deuces. He bought the 22 inches.
Oh shit.
Man, he was so fucking happy. He was so happy, and we were just driving around the
22s?
fucking mall. Yeah, just drive around the mall on 22s, circle it.
Just said, just showing off the 22s.
Yeah, and then he had bought 20 inches. He had bought dubs, and then he decided they weren't big enough, so he ended up trading them in for the 22s. That was when the rims were like everyone. I mean, I don't know about out here, but over there, that's what everyone was doing. They were buying the fucking because of the music, all the fucking
everybody their 22s.
Yeah, people were fucking just buying rims for fucking just because of the music.
If you had an SUV, you had 24s and shit.
Right? Yeah.
Your tire tread was like this thing.
Yeah. With the spinners.
Yeah. And then they got all watered down when they started having the hubcap spinners and shit. I was like, oh, this shit's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Yeah.
But yeah, that was an era.
Right? That was definitely an era. It's crazy. Then you think about it, it was like, I remember that was an era.
And having to describe that to your kids, like people
we used to have spinning ribs back in the day. They was like, what the fuck? Spinning ribs? Why you put ribs on a car? Just use the ones that come with the car.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
So what's up, man? How long you got? You good?
Yeah, man. What we doing? Damn, it's 1:30.
Yeah, I know. So we can wrap this up. Or we're gonna keep going.
I'm good. I know you work today, bro. I know you.
No, I'm good. I can do whatever you want. I just gotta go pee. If you want to keep going,
good. Whatever. I'm down. Whatever you want to do, bro.
You want to go ahead? You want to wrap it up?
What do you want to do? Let me know. This is your show.
We can hit some more topics. We're hitting topics, man. We're hitting topics.
Okay,
I can cut this up into 2 episodes.
There we go. We can do it. Part 1 and part 2.
All right. We can use the restroom, and then we'll get back to it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.